JRTV is back with the 2003 NASCAR Winston Cup Series season. For the 20th race of the season, we head under the lights to the Bristol Motor Speedway on a Saturday night short track race. It is the Food City 500. It's always a crazy one here at Bristol. We always know that passing is very difficult at this half-mile racetrack, and those drivers that start at the front of the field, they're feeling pretty good about their chances to perform well and compete for victory here at the half mile, one of the fastest short tracks in the United States. I'm joined in the booth by past Bristol winner Trey Bardo. And Trey, it's great to be back here to short track at the Bristol Motor Speedway for these drivers that are starting, maybe middle of the pack or even at the back of the pack. The points leader Brett Sears starts just outside of the top 15. Riley Spurgeon's back there with them. We have Evan Hunter way back in the field. They're not too happy about where they qualified because they're going to need a miracle in terms of, some wacky strategy playing out to get them up towards the front of the field.
Yeah, I mean, everything here, if you want the best chance to win, it's track position, and that always starts at where you qualify. And if you start in the back, like you mentioned, it's going to be an absolute struggle for those guys to try to find their way up front. Not saying that they can't, right? Not saying that they can at all, but it's going to be a uphill battle from the drop of the green flag all the way to the checkers.
One thing that could go in their favor, though, is that Goodyear did change the tire they brought here to Bristol, as in the past, this hasn't been the same Bristol track that we were used to seeing in the 80s and the early 90s. Sometime in the early 90s, it just changed, and all of a sudden it became a very fast racetrack with very little off-throttle time, very little passing. It became very, very difficult to pass, very difficult to get someone's bumper to move them up out of the groove to make a pass work in that regard. Goodyear for this season has brought a different tire to the race. It's a little bit of a softer tire. It provides a little bit less grip over a long run. It wears out in a much faster manner. We're expecting to see in this race, if it goes a full field run, which is about 55 to 60 laps, we're expecting to see up to a second and a half of fall off compared to the fastest time. And that's it may be like, all right, only a second and a half of fall off, but that's at a racetrack where you're running 15-second lap times. So that's like a tenth of your lap time that you're going to be falling off over the course of a long run. So it could make passing a little bit more possible as we get slower corner speeds. We're expecting to see corner speeds maybe down below 100 miles an hour here this season at Bristol. We're also expecting to see maybe the outside 3 and 4 not work as well. We've seen in the past where the bottom of 1 and 2 is the place to be, the outside 3 and 4 is the place to be. Well, this season it's probably going to be that way for the start of the race, but as the laps wear on and the tires wear out, the outside 3 and 4 will still be able to hang, but the drivers are not expecting it to be able to make passes up there. So Trey, maybe if you go for a pass late in a run down the bottom of 3 and 4, you can actually make it work this time rather than where we've seen the past few seasons. You make a pass in 3 and 4 on the inside, you can't make it stick.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out throughout the race here, and the opportunities that these guys will have to try to do something else that we haven't seen yet here. I mean, Joe, I'm so used to watching those guys come off a 4 and they're clearing the guy that they're that's on the inside of them by a car length or a car length and a half by the time we get down into 1.
Yeah, and for those drivers that are starting at the top, they're just happy that it's probably going to stay that way on fresh tires, right? Is that, Eli Bright, Justin Seidel, Chris Jericho, they can find a way down in line because they're going to be able to get a good run off 3 and 4 on the first few laps of this run. Once we get 20, 25, 30 laps on the tires, it might not be that way. But we still know that track position is king. How do we know that? Well, just look at inspection after qualifying. We had 5 inspection failures, and we had a few drivers that were going to start well or that made the race and ended up not making the race. Zachary DeLello and Matthew Burnett, the 2 Roush Racing team, which were set to start inside the top 15, they failed inspection. They're all the way at the back of the field. Mitchell Collins didn't have a good run for Penske. He's also back of the field now. Same with Jude Martinelli. Qualified top 30. He'll have to start back at 42nd place. And probably the most heartbreaking, disappointing result of inspection was your driver Henry Guo missing the race. He actually had made the race on time by just a few 1,000ths of a second, but failed inspection and is not going to race here tonight. Instead, Nathan Ormond now makes it into the show. So qualifying is still very important at Bristol, and it shows the teams are pushing everything they can because just 100th of a second could gain you 5, 6, up to 10 spots.
Yeah, definitely, and I mean it's just how the way it goes. It's unfortunate, but inspection is always the place where it catches people out, and everyone tries to get that little bit of an edge on everyone else, and occasionally it's where you get caught. So I mean, it's just the way it works, and those who can benefit from inspection are the happier ones that come out of it at the end.
Yeah, like Evan Hunter, who gained 5 spots. He's up there second in points, trying to reel in Brett Series. Starts behind him for the second straight week, and he's saying, all right, at least we got 5 spots right there. Maybe we can try and make something out of nothing. But he starts behind Brett Sears. Sears starts in the mid-pack. Evan Hunter's down lower. We'll have to see. Can Hunter try and find a way to gain points on Brett Sierra? It's Bristol, so anything can happen. Sierra could get involved in a crash that was none of his doing. That's just how it happens here at the half-mile racetrack in Tennessee. So we'll go take a look at the track facts for the Bristol Motor Speedway. It's a very nice night for racing, 72 degrees, but a little bit windy out there, so we'll see how the wind plays into this race, that the drivers find it a little bit harder to control their cars off some of the corners if the wind is pushing in that direction. It's a long race in terms of laps, 100 laps long, not very long in terms of mileage. It's only 53.3 miles. As mentioned before, the fuel window is 55 to 65 laps. We'll see if that comes into play as it has as the last few seasons under the green flag, or if we'll get some caution flag pit stops if these drivers get a little chaotic around the midpoint of this race. 36 degrees of banking in the turns, very steeply banked, and 16 degrees on the straightaways. That's more than some of the tracks have in their corners, and Bristol has that on its straightaways. And some of the more unique facts about this racetrack: the first of your 66 wins tray came right here at the Bristol Motor Speedway in 1981, and 3 of the last 4 Winston Cup Series races here at Bristol have been won by a Ford driver. The past 2 have gone to Ford. Luke Rainey did it last season. He was the slowest in qualifying. Jordan Stout did it back in 2001. He starts mid-pack. We'll see if those two can come through the field, or will it be the Chevrolets on the outside, the Dodges on the inside, finding a way to victory lane. We're going to find out. We'll go down trackside, get command to fire the engines up for the Food City 500 here at Bristol.
Drivers, start your engines!
What a great command. 42 cars come to life, and they're rolling off the starting grid. Quickly talk about one man, and that's Hunter Reed, the 45. Trey, what a very impressive run for Reed, starting 5th place here today at Bristol for Petty Enterprises. Both of those Petty cars qualified inside the top 10. Can Hunter Reed find a way to get his first ever victory right here at Bristol?
Well, he's got one thing right, Joe, and that's that he's starting up front, so we'll have to see what he can develop throughout this race here.
He's going to have to pass Eli right up there, who comes in 3rd in points. Justin Zidell won this race in 2000, and just in front of him are the 2 Evernham Dodges. Laura Chung on pole. Behind her teammate Nolan Lawrence. Eli Bright to her outside, the number 8. 3rd in points, trying to gain points on Brett Sierra. Chung takes off. The green flag is waving here at Bristol. And already a lap completed. Laura Chung and Nolan Lawrence got away 1st and 2nd. Bright gets down in 3rd place. Zidell trying to take 4th from Hunter Reed. Reed has the inside through 1 and 2. Gets almost clear Zidell as they race down the back straightaway. Reed now with the inside in 3 and 4. Zidell with the preferred lane on the outside. And he's going to try and get the gas, get by. Reed keeping it for now. These two still side by side. The front 3 get away.
Here's actually how long this top and bottom can't hold each other. As you can see, the bottom prevails there, but as we look back further in the pack, there's still guys that are too wide here. And like you mentioned, Joe, that Goodyear brought different tires. So we'll have to see how long, these guys can hold up top without, dropping back.
I think Jericho's teammate Wells let him down in line right there. So Jericho gets down right where he started in 6th place. Wells right where he started in 7th place. Atkins trying to keep 8th from Richardson, who doesn't get the run on the bottom lane. He gets back in line. Then Roberto Crown Jr. trying to keep 10th. And how about the run for Jacob Miller? Qualified well, trying to race his way up inside the top 10. Remember, he finds himself on the opposite side of the top 35 in Owner Sports cut line. He started well here tonight. Colin Lewis did not. Miller could get back in if he performs, as a caution is out early on. We had a crash, and it looks like Samet Oskin and his alliance teammate Ryan Wilson have crashed to cause the first yellow. And another thing, up here, it looks like Zachary Fitzwater Sr. has wrecked under the caution flag.
Now, contact after caution flag flies out here is not a very uncommon thing we tend to see here, just because it's such a short track at a high speed, but we'll have to see how Fitzy got turned around.
Yeah, obviously someone could have not reacted in time. Maybe the 2 slowed down, someone didn't. They got together, but unfortunately for Fitzwater, he was spun around. Those tires might be a little bit worn out. However, the car shouldn't be too badly damaged. I think he had some right side damage. That's about it. He gets to keep his spot as well. NASCAR will give it back. It probably wasn't his fault in that case if they give him the spot back. An early caution flag out here in the Food City 500 at Bristol, and it's 2 Alliance teammates, Oskin and Wilson, to cause it. They'll be at the back of the field for the first restart of the night. We'll go check out what happened. Well, here's the reason for the first caution of the night here at Bristol. Ryan Wilson being aggressive here, trying to get some spots, and his Alliance teammate Oskin goes up the track, and The 81, there's no room for 3 wide here at Bristol, really, and the 15 gets into the 81 of Oskin, spinning him around, and Trey, unfortunately, second in points. You don't want to be second in the points. Evan Hunter gets collected, and he's going to hit the outside wall very hard right there. You have to imagine that something probably broken suspension-wise in that 36 car, even though he drives away. Car can't be handling that well after that.
It's so weird how everyone that's second in points always seems to be involved in an incident, right?
Yep.
But yeah, that was not what you wanted. And then right here, Joe, you wanted to explain this one?
Well, the caution's out, and everyone's kind of rolling out of the throttle. 50 doesn't really roll out that much, and Colin Teague just, I don't know what he was doing there, Trey. That's uncalled for under the caution flag.
Yeah, it's hard to drive a car whenever the back wheels are off the ground.
Great job by Spurley Tube right there too. Look at him.
Yeah, very true. And then you can see in the back everyone getting into each other. They're trying to check up, getting out of the way. But yeah, that was I don't want to say deliberate, but it doesn't look good for the 49's case.
No, and when it's only your 5th race of the season, you have to be a little bit more conservative with that. Under the caution flag, you don't want to wreck someone who's been racing all the races, and definitely not the man who's in that number 2. Fitzwater is going to probably have some words for Colin Teague after the race, if not during the race with this race car, as we'll go take a look at the caution flag wreck one more time in full speed. Here's another view of Wilson coming off the corner into Oskin, and here's a good view of Evan Hunter hitting the concrete on the outside wall down the back straightaway. Caution flag number 1 is out here in the Food City 500 at Bristol. Still Lawrence Chung, Nolan Lawrence, 1-2 for Evernham Motorsports. Back here on JRTV, ready for the first restart of the night. It'll come with 10 laps completed here in the Food City 500. Still Lawrence Chung, Nolan Lawrence, the teammates first and second from Evernham. Then Eli Bright is up in 3rd place while his teammates are back there squabbling around. Wilson and Oskin, he's up here trying to get points on Brett Sierra. Eli's right now in 3rd. Hunter Reed up to 4th. Justin Seidel back to 5th in the 24. Jericho and Wells right where they start, 6th and 7th. Atkins is 8th. Richards in 9th. Roberto Crown Jr. completes the top 10. The points leader, Brett Sierra, started in 18th. He's currently back in 20th place. He lost a few spots. However, he can try and make them up now, so it's a single file restart. Everyone back in line. The pace car is in. All 42 cars still running at the back of the field. The green flag is waving. What a jump for Lawrence. Right to the back and looking for the lead in turn 1 on Lawrence Chung.
Oh, that was close contact. Joe, you doing all right?
Doing as good as I can right now as Nolan Lawrence takes the lead on the restart. Lawrence Chung trying to come back off turn number 4, right to the back bumper of Lawrence. Maybe not too happy with how that restart went. They're right now 1st and 2nd trying to keep it clean, and hopefully they do keep it clean at the front of the field. Lawrence going to try and get away as Bright keeps 3rd. Reed keeps 4th. The field single filed out as they race through 3 and 4.
This is different, right? I mean, granted, like you said, we started single file, so it's not as how do you want to say hectic as a normal restart there. But still, I mean, these restarts are where you can get up all your positions. You catch someone sleeping, you catch a 24 like this going up the track a little bit. Woo! Little bit of contact there, Joe.
Yeah, there was some slight contact between Justin Seidel and Chris Jericho. These two raced each other extremely hard last week at Chicagoland, and a battle for 2nd at the end. It allowed Atkins to get away and win the race, but these two were not holding back when they were going after each other on the racetrack, racing each other very aggressively. In fact, they had to drive right behind them. Matt as well, also in the fight for 2nd place with them. So a little bit of a reunion back here in 5th place of the fight for 2nd last week.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, Joe, the one thing I like about this track here, right, is that if there's a place where you want to use the bump and run, it's this track right here, right? Because you push them up the track, and there's a pretty good chance that you get by them before they regain their control of their car and come back down. There's a good chance. Not saying it's guaranteed. Well,
Seidel right there used the top of 3 and 4 to his advantage, as the tire's still not too worn out quite yet. There's still some good grip in them to make that outside work. Jericho had to look for that spot, couldn't make it work. Further back, here's Keegan Thompson trying to look on Colin Teague. Remember, the 49 does have some damage from that yellow flag accident with Fitzwater. Currently, Fitzwater runs in 16th, Teague runs in 17th. The 2 has gotten away from the 49 just a bit, and the 49 probably holding up this train of cars. Brett Sierra in 20th place has his mirrors full with Tim Gary. Gary's probably been one of the drivers that races Sierra the most aggressively so far this season. He's been all over him at points. He's been, running into him and, just not giving him any breaks out there. And right now, they're running 20th and 21st, and Sierra trying to keep that spot, trying to keep every point he can. And Keegan Thompson, Trey, I think he's getting a little bit impatient with Colin Teague in front of him. He wants to get going. Kukulon says, let me go to the outside and try and pass you right here. Keegan Thompson might lose a spot right here.
Yeah, I don't know if the 5 and the 49 made contact there throughout it. It looked like they were pretty close to each other, so I'm wondering if Keegan lost momentum, and that allowed the 29 to get to the top. But Joe, this is what we're seeing right here. I don't know if we're far enough. We might be too far into the run where the top side doesn't work. As soon as I say that, it worked.
Yep, Sebastian Kukulon got the spot from Keegan Thompson. So right there, car number 5, maybe he was a little bit patient with the 49, but it lost him a spot because Kukulon said, let me jump to the outside and try to make something work, and he made it work. The 29 car through that spot of Keegan Thompson. The 5 now trying to fend off his teammate Brett Sierra in the 25. A little bit further back, Jordan Stout, his winner in the past. The number 6 currently rides outside the top 20 in 24th place. That's about where he started this race. And let's go back to where Evan Hunter maybe. Remember that 36 hit the wall pretty good. The right side probably mangled on that car. He's currently riding in 34th place. He started this race in 35th. So he's picked up a spot, obviously not where he wants to be right now as Brett Sierra rides inside the top 20. Eli Bright's up inside the top 5. The 36 currently back with a damaged race car in the 34th spot and trying to hang on with Mitchell Collins getting into him.
Yeah, that's not the place you want to be in, where you got a guy who's behind you a little bit, maybe a little bit impatient. Looks like he might get a little impatient himself there. I couldn't tell, but do you think Evan knows that his teammate, his car that he owns, is right behind the points leader right now?
Probably not. I'm sure he's not getting word of that quite yet, but maybe if they make contact, he'll find out about it. In fact, there was almost contact between 2 teammates up the road, Bibby Rose and Colin Lewis, going at it for a spot inside the top 30. As Zachary DeLello marching through the field. Remember, failed inspection was the highest starting of the drivers that failed inspection after qualifying. He's marched up now to 31st, getting by Nathan Baird in the number 22 car. Behind him, some more cars that failed inspection. Matthew Burnett has just passed Mitchell Collins for 35th place. Collins back in 36th. And then we go back here. There's obviously some of these drivers. Luke Rennie's slowest car in qualifying, and then Jude Martinelli back in the 42nd position as Lawrence is catching up to the back of the field. He still leads this race. Idell's wrecked
24
on the front straightaway. And no caution. Why is there no caution, Trey?
Joe, who are we talking about right now?
That's a fair
NASCAR.
point. But I mean, he was in the groove.
I feel like, was it last season there was an accident like that? The driver stopped it before he was completely on the track, and they never threw a caution for it?
Yeah, something like that, exactly. We've seen a lot of no caution calls at Bristol because cars keep it on the apron of the racetrack.
Yeah.
But in Zidell's case, the back end of his car was sticking out onto the concrete, and everyone's running low here. You're not running up the racetrack, so he's lucky he didn't get hit right there. And that honestly, I mean, he hit the wall hard. He's going to be out of the race. That should have been a caution flag, and we'll have to get a look at what happened to Zidell right there. Probably contact with one of those Joe Gibbs cars because he was in that big battle with Chris Jericho and Mathis Wells. I think the 18 probably got into him.
Who is in the tower? Do we know?
They might be
Joe,
blind.
you've been in here longer than I have. Do you know who's in the tower?
They might be blind. I don't know.
They really need to fix, because I feel like it wasn't too long ago where we had an accident this season and they didn't throw a caution for it.
Daytona.
That's right. The 48 and the 15.
Yep, the 15 hit the inside wall pretty hard, side slapped it, but since he never went on the racetrack, NASCAR said, well, we didn't need to throw a caution for it. But I would disagree with that. I think if a driver hits a wall hard, I can understand if a driver spins down to the apron, doesn't hit anything, and gets back going. That's one thing. But if a driver hits a wall, I think you have to throw a caution no matter what.
Especially, you know, with the 24 here, who was clearly having engine issues. I mean, we saw the smoke pouring out of there, right? And with engine issues, you're going to have oil leaking or some sort of fluid. But I guess they're saying since it was on the inside of the track, they don't got to worry about cars going down there, which is just completely not the case whatsoever. But yeah, we'll have to see what it all develops here. But Joe, another controversial car coming from NASCAR.
Yeah, we'll have to see if Zidell says anything about that, you know, after the race, or maybe even, you know, when he gets out of the infield care center, if he has any words for what happened right there. Is now Nolan Lawrence, the leader, has caught up to the tail end of the field, and it's a big battle to try and stay on the lead lap. And as we've seen the past year at Bristol, you may be the race leader, you may be the fastest car out there, but once you get into lap traffic, you may as well just be another car in the race. Lawrence can go from running the fastest laps of the race to running some of the slowest laps of the race if he can't find a way around some of these cars that are going to fall off the lead lap. He's already lost about 3/10 of his lead to Laura Chung over the last 2 laps, and he's trying to find a way around Jude Martinelli and then Benny Lynn and then Luke Rennie, the 88. But maybe the 67, the 40, they'd be a little bit of an easier pass, but that 88 is not going to be an easy pass because we know Luke Rennie, he has to be in that race car, just didn't qualify well, and obviously won this race last season, so he knows how to get around at Bristol, and he can be one to hold the leader up if the leader ever gets to him, because right now, Lawrence finding it hard to pass Jude Martinelli and Benny Lynn, who don't have to move out of the way. That's not, their prerogative. There's nothing, in the rules that says you have to move out of the way if the leader's behind you. They're just trying to fight to stand the lead lap in case a caution flag comes out, and they're fast enough to do it right now.
Now, this is the thing. You love to see this if you're the person in second, third, and fourth place, right? But the problem is you have to get past them as well.
Yes, exactly. It's catching Laura Chung and Eli Bright Hunter Reed up, but when Laura Chung gets to Nolan Lawrence, if Lawrence can't pass the 67, how can the 9 pass the 19?
So it's going to be this brings everyone else back into the fight, but what fight is there to be had?
Exactly, that's the point. As Keegan Thompson has finally gotten around Colin Teague, who's fallen back to 18th place. Tim Gary's gotten around Brett Sierra, so moved the 10 up to 19th, and Brett Sierra's dropped now outside the top 20, as Riley Spurgeon has passed the number 25 car, so moves Sierra back to 21st place. It's not been the run of the race he's wanted. DeLello from the back of the field has moved up pretty nicely. He's up to 30th place inside the top 30. Remember, he had to start back in about 39th place after failing inspection. Still Lawrence stuck behind Jude Martinelli. Martinelli, after the last few races where he's not been running all that well, he said, I wish the JRTV producers would focus more on the back of the field because us little guys deserve some TV time too. Well, right now, Jude Martinelli's getting the TV time, probably not the way he wants to, but he's still getting TV time.
What's the saying? Any publicity is good publicity.
That is true. If you, Gas Buddy probably wanted something on, TV, well, here they are. That number 67 running with the leader. You can pretend it's a battle for the lead if they want to.
Yeah, exactly. And they can, you know what? A picture, right? You take a picture of that, you don't have to say what it is.
No.
It just looks good.
Picture is worth 1,000 words, they say, right? Worth more than 1,000 words, something like that.
Yeah, something along those lines.
These two are, they're going to have their own picture of this fight. Hunter Reed, Eli Bright. Hunter Reed has been hounding on that Budweiser number 8, trying to find a way by, but Eli's done a great job just holding that yellow line at the bottom. Reed can't find a way to the inside. He's not quite fast enough, but he's been faster than the 8. We've seen it. He's been on the back bumper of him, looking lap after lap. Can't find a way by. Laura Chung, I thought she would catch right up to the bumper of her teammate, maybe giving him some room in case Lawrence needs to get out of the gas or something. She doesn't want to get into him and wreck him. So maybe she's kind of playing a little bit conservative. That's allowed Eli Bright to catch right up to the number 9 car of Laura Chung. So these guys are all over the place in the top 4, and if these 4 stay behind Martinelli and some of the others for long, the Joe Gibbs guys and Justin Atkins and Keyshawn Richardson will be right up here in this battle.
Yeah. Oh, there goes the move to the inside for the leader as they have battling up front here as well. We'll have to see what happens here, but Joe, so it looks like the outside is the place you want to be at the moment.
Lawrence drove it.
Unless you send it back in.
Yeah, he drove it in hard at 1 and 2, trying to make it work on the bottom. The tires are almost just gone down to the cords, you have to assume now at this point. We're 50 laps in next time by. Nolan Lawrence trying to fight by Martinelli. Eli Bright in a fight with Hunter Reed. Martinelli got loose on corner entrance because there was a crash.
Oh,
Evan Hunter!
Oh, 36 again!
Oh, and Eli Bright got collected!
They got to be careful slowing down here.
Trey, oh no!
Oh no!
Lathan Strickland, Trey, the three cars that got involved in that are 2nd, 3rd, and 4th in points.
I don't want to say luck is a thing or given a championship, but these drivers are doing everything they can to give this 25 here the biggest lead he can possibly have.
Brett Sierra has missed it, and the 3 closest competitors to him have been involved. Eli Bright didn't get the worst of it, but he's still going to drop back here. You have to assume that they're going to fix that damage on pit road. He currently runs in 10th place. But now, Trey, that the, everyone's trying to get sorted out here, pit stops are going to happen. The interesting part here is that pit road, you can come in, if you're on the backstretch, you can come in by yourself. The problem is with that, these guys on the front stretch, they have an advantage because they don't have to slow down for the pace car as much, right? Those guys are pitting on the backstretch. They have to slow down for the pace car, and it's a whole thing, and they're going to probably lose spots on pit road if you're pitted on the backstretch.
Yeah, it's weird how this pit road's set up, right? But, I mean, I guess it's part of the advantage of what you got to do. But Joe, contact between teammates on pit road as well. But I don't think that's going to be as big a contact as, like you said, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th in points half at the moment.
Yeah, Eli Bright's still on pit road there. I think they've taken the hood off that number 8. They're going to get him out back onto the racetrack. So they did pretty quick work right there, getting the hood off and tearing it off. He's still going to be ahead of Brett Sierra on the racetrack. Let's see if he's as fast as Brett Sierra when we get back on. All the guys on the backstretch are losing time. See, they can come off pit road wherever they merge, like Tim Gary, and these guys are still slowing up. I don't know. Someone has had an issue right here, and they're still trying to figure it out. But we'll take a break, come back and check out what happened, and then sort everything out where everyone's running as the 19 still leads off pit road. Go check out what happened though. Caution flag is out. Second, third, and fourth and points get collected in the second accident of the night here at Bristol. Well, Trey, this was trouble brewing off turn number 4 with Matthew Burnett and Evan Hunter. Burnett obviously not too happy with whatever the 36 has done to him probably early in the race. Gets into him right here, tries to wipe him out once, fails there. So Trey, if you don't at first succeed, what do you do next?
Try and try again.
And he tried and tried in turn 1. Look at how long he's into the back, quarter panel of the 36. Hunter spins around, but makes sure to take Burnett with him.
I was gonna say, did he hit the brake there a little bit to try to put the car up the track?
I think he did. And then right here, the unfortunate part, Hunter sliding down that 36 degrees of bank, and it's impossible to keep a car from doing that. Right to the path of Martinelli, who has been caught up in so many accidents, and then Eli Bright, who was running up inside the top 5 at the time, third in the points and second in the points collected right there. Bright gets away. He's going to still be inside the top 20 without a hood on that car, so we'll see how he goes. And then right here, Trey, a lot of cars have missed this 36 and the 67, but in comes Strickland, maybe got into some oil. See, those two cars are smoking, maybe got into some oil, couldn't turn, but he nails Hunter and spins the 36 up the track again, and the 48 now out. So Trey, second and fourth in points are going to be out of the race. Third in points has damage. All the while, Brett Sear is just riding around 20th place, being like, I don't really have to do anything here, do I?
But the one time it's all right to have a mediocre day, it's working out, right?
Yep, yeah, exactly. He was lucky he was far enough back that he was able to get slowed down before he got to the crash. And we'll go take a look at this wreck one more time at full speed. And here's the second caution of the night here at Bristol. Hunter and Burnett get together.
I mean, he just never lets go.
Yep. Finally finished off by Matthew Burnett. And then to make matters worse, a few
or
more
Martinelli,
hits.
too.
Yeah.
How many incidences is that this season?
And that was the first time he had been caught at the top in 1 and 2. And it just happened to be the time there was going to be a car in the outside lane crashed in 1 and 2.
I don't, that's, this poor team, team owner, Jack Haas, he's
feeling it.
I don't know if I don't even know if he has anything to feel at the moment anymore. He just might be numb at this point.
Well, I was saying that, he's feeling a little bit lighter because the pockets don't have.
Oh yeah, that too. I mean, at this point, I think it's like the weekly check is going to the damages.
Well, this man is having a good time. While it's not been the best of races for Brett Sierra, he's still looking to leave with a bigger points lead than he came in with. Sierra rides in about 20th place as Noah Lawrence and Laura Chung still lead for Evernham Motorsports here at the Bristol Motor Speedway. Back here on JRTV, still under the caution flag, trying to get that cleaned up as it was a pretty major accident. Cars littered all around the racetrack, but it's a great time as we get back early to do our Gatorade audience analysis for this week. As last week, we had asked which of the following tracks would you add to the Winston Cup Series schedule for the 2004 season. A very unique question, maybe a question that could foreshadow part of the future, but Trey, a lot of the fans agree with you. Over 50% said Nazareth should be added to the 2004 schedule. How about that?
So does that mean what do we got to do to make this happen?
Well, I do know that there's a rumor that Nextel came in, and they're going to be the title sponsor for next season. They said we want a more unique schedule. So
well, I mean, you put that track in there, Joe. That's pretty unique.
It's pretty unique, and I think all those would be unique. But Nazareth definitely the most unique. Nashville Superspeedway also got a pretty good claim of the vote at about a third of it. But this week, we're asking about the Rookie of the Year standings. Currently, Matt Tuck leads them, but which rookie is going to win in the Rookie of the Year honors? Is it going to be Matt Tuck, who's currently leading by about a race over Jude Martinelli? Is it going to be Jude Martinelli? Is it going to be Tyler Belladonna or Colin Lewis?
I'm gonna go Matt Tuck here. I mean, how many times have we seen that guy? Wait, what was it? Yeah, Matt, right? That's what you said.
Yep.
I'm drawing up. Sorry, it's been a long race so far, Joe.
Yes,
I'm gonna go Matt Tuck.
All right, well, we'll see if the fans agree with you. He's currently leading, so he has the best shot as of now. But the lights are on the pace car. Cars to the garage and done, including second in points, Evan Hunter, Jude Martinelli, who I just mentioned under that question, and Lathan Strickland, who comes in fourth in the points. We have 32 cars on the lead lap. Benny Lynn's a lap down. He's currently lining up second place between the Evernham teammates as the green flag is back out. Brett Sierra currently in 25th place. Lynn's trying to pass Lawrence, who goes wide, and Hunter Reed with a restart to go to second place in the 45.
Well, that was interesting.
Yes, it was. What a restart for Hunter Reed as Sierra lines up in 25th. Eli Bright's in 22nd.
Careful.
And Hunter Reed's not happy. He wants Lynn out of the way because Lawrence has pulled away to a second already.
Yeah, that 19 is gone. I don't even.
Oh, Fitzwater!
Oh, right in the back.
He gets collected by Keyshawn Richardson. He's on the apron. Does the caution flag come out? It does not. We stay under the green flag.
Ooh, Fitzy almost got in the loop.
Jacob Miller with an issue coming off pit road. He's falling a lap down. Reed through to second. Laura Chung to third. How about Mitchell Collins, Trey, who failed inspection, starts the back. The yellow's out now.
Oh, Eli again.
And Zachary DeLello in the 16, who had done a great job marching from the back of the field. And now Nolan Lawrence is going to have to be a little bit nervous, Trey. He had built up a nice gap, but it's all gone. And Hunter Reed, a hard charger, is right behind him for this restart.
So what's the saying about cautions?
They breed cautions.
Yeah.
Yep, that's the third one. We just restarted. Miller's still back on pit road with issues, but Eli Bright and Zachary DeLello collected. I don't know if that was an aggression hit.
Little anger there, maybe?
We'll have to go check out what happened as Eli Bright involved in his second accident in the last two cautions. He and DeLello spun around on the apron. Well, Trey, these two may have been teammates last season, might not be friends, and definitely not teammates this season. Sarah Kirchner gets right up into Jason Albert, never lifts off the gas, and spins Albert right down to the inside concrete. This happening just about half a lap after Fitzwater got dumped by Richardson. 41 out of control, right up into Hernandez and Colin Teague. They into the outside wall. And then Riley Sprague enters up inside the top 10 points collected. DeLello turns down the track to miss. He gets into Eli Bright and Trey, who misses, but Brett Sear in the 25.
That's incredible that he made it through all that.
Yeah,
and then look who else gained quite a bit of positions. Is that two who was just spun that what, a lap up before?
Yeah, like half a lap before he was spun around. He gets back through and gains some spots back. But yeah, it was a little bit of a chaotic lap there, Bristol. We had Fitzwater get dumped by Richardson, then Albert get dumped by Kirchner. A lot happening here on that lap at Bristol. We'll take a look one more time at this this big accident down in turns 1 and 2. And another view of this crash as Albert is going to get dumped by Kirchner. And then up into the pack, and cars are littered everywhere.
I'll be interested to see what both sides of that one is from the 41 and the 33 and everything from there. But I don't know what Eli was doing there. I don't know. Maybe his brakes are just a little worn.
Probably.
But that's what he'll say, or something about that.
Yeah, I don't know. But now for this restart, it's going to be interesting. Hunter Reed got a massive restart last time and got past Laura Chung. Now he has the leader right in front of him. It's a Dodge 1, 2, 3, 4 here at the Bristol Motor Speedway. Lights about to go out. The Pontiac pace car coming back to the green flag with Nolan Lawrence still in control. However, some hard chargers back behind him. Mitchell Collins had an issue under this caution, had to come down pit road, possibly a flat tire from debris. He'll have to restart at the back of the field. So a tough break was running in fourth. He came from the back of the field after failing inspection, but now he's not going to have a shot to win this one unless some carnage happens in front. So still Lawrence leading with Hunter Reed, the hard charger of the race, in second. Laura Chung back to third. Mathis Wells up to fourth, and Justin Atkins, winner of the last race, up in fifth. A few lap cars. Then between 6th place, Jay Randall, 3 cars between he and 5th place. Jericho's in 7th, Gary up to 8th, Crown Jr. in 9th, and Richardson, after just spinning out Fitzwater, currently rides in 10th place. The points under Brett Sear are currently in the 23rd position, but still ahead of all of his nearest competitors. Out of the race from that crash, Jacob Miller has had issues in the 57. He's to the garage, and his chance of breaking up inside the top 35 and owners points are done. Green flag back in the air. A pretty good jump for Nolan Lawrence. Hunter Reed trying to stay with him. Mathis Wells under fire from 4th place, and Nathan Orman did not get going. He stacks up the whole field behind him.
Well, Joe, are we gonna get another one, or are we gonna keep it clean for a little bit?
We could definitely get another, especially some of those slower cars in the middle of all of it. It's Justin Atkins to knock it off turn 4 well. He drops back by Mathis Wells. For the lead, Hunter Reed's there on Nolan Lawrence. Remember, before that slew of cautions came out, Reed was the one challenging on the back bumper of Eli Bright, desperately trying to find a way around him. Now he has the leader in his sights, and he might be challenging Nolan Lawrence for the lead here in these final 30 or so laps. Reed is right there looking for his first ever win in the Winston Cup Series.
Now, what do you have to do to pass the guy here?
That's a great question, because now these drivers have fresher tires on the cars, so they're not as worn out. It's not as easy to make passes work. He might just have to hope that the 19 makes a mistake or the 19 gets caught in traffic and Reed can try and find a way by, because at the moment he's opened up a nice gap over Laura Chung, so he doesn't have to focus on the mirror at the moment.
Well, this will be interesting. I can see the 19's kind of, but not really, pulling away a little bit there. And the 9 is drifting back as well. So this might come down to just 2 guys. But Joe, we have too many laps left. We're going to have to end up catching lap traffic at some point, right? And that's going to change, the complexion of the race completely.
Especially with all the damaged cars out there, they're going to be a little bit slower than just someone who's up to speed. Want to give a shout to some drivers that have raced really well here tonight. Baby Ruiz and Colin Lewis, the teammates from Melling Ultra Motorsports, are currently up in 17th and 18th place from poor starting spots. Great run for them. Tyler Belladonna from a poor starting spot barely made the race on time. Currently in 19th place, up inside the top 20. Jack Carter's first race in a while is up in 21st place. Make it 22nd as Nathan Baird just got by him. Matt Tuck with that damage still up in 24th. And Trey, Eli Bright is not letting Brett Sear get in front of him. Sear's falling back to 25th, and Eli's right in his bumper in 26th place. Even with that damage, number 8 still pretty fast.
I was going to say, a track like this, Joe, I mean, the damage could hinder a little bit, but it's not going to hinder it as much as, say, a place like Texas or Talladega or Daytona, right? So you could definitely make do here. As you can see, Eli is absolutely ripping the top right now.
I think he's a little angry. He's like, I need to get the spot from Brett Sear. That's first and third in points. Probably going to leave first and second in points. As you see some of the damaged cars right here still all over the place. The 17, the 12, the 16. Poor Mitchell Collins, who's up there inside the top 5 and now has to run back with some of these damaged cars and trade. They're already on the same straightaway as our race leaders, Nolan Lawrence, Hunter Reed. As Reed had closed right up onto the back bumper of that number 19, but did not find a way by him. He's fallen off with 26 laps to go, maybe cooling his tires down for another run at him later on in the race. Atkins still on the back bumper of Mathis Wells for 4th place. Nowhere to go so far. That number 20 has some left side damage, but still running pretty well. As Brett Sear's gotten some spots back. He's up to 23rd place, got by the number 54 and some others. Matt Tuck has fallen down to 28th place, as Eli Bright currently still stuck back in 26, trying to find a way by Colin Teague in the 49 car.
Yeah, now these guys are, they might not be used to a little bit of a green flag run here. They got to kind of settle it out, right? And everything like that. Luckily, we don't have to worry about green flag pit stops anymore. Whoa! That was close.
Yeah, those are 2 Alliance cars too. Benny Lynn and Colin Teagan. They just got together. It's Nathan Ormond. He has some very heavy damage. He's very slow down the back straightaway, and the Lears are definitely going to catch him. Same with Matthew Burnett, who's all torn up from that caution with Evan Hunter. Meanwhile, Hunter Reed closing back up, and this is the time you want to close back up on Lawrence. If the 19 gets caught up in traffic, you want to be close enough to take advantage. Well, Hunter Reed's doing it within 0.2 of a second with 22 laps to go. Right on the bumper, trying to find a way to get to him and then get by him. If the 19 gets held up by the 17 or the 41 or some of these other damaged cars up in front, we have 21 laps to go here in Bristol.
So Joe, let's take an eye from the owner, right, of the first and second place car. You have a guy in between your cars who seems to be, might be able to argue a little bit faster than the 19, right? Who's catching up to lap traffic. If you had a chance to talk to your driver right now, what would you tell him?
I'd just tell him to focus forward, because it's very hard to make passes. If he can get by the traffic cleanly, the 45 doesn't have too much of a shot unless he gets dirty with them. But if the 19 keeps focusing on the mirror and gets a little bit nervous, Nolan Lawrence looks in the mirror and sees the hood of that 45 filling up the mirror, it won't do him any favors.
But now you're the 45, and you're in the sandwich of a teammates right here. That was a weird move. I don't know what.
Someone spun. There. Nathan Baird was stopped on the front stretch. He had just spun. Keep it under the green flag, though.
Well, anyways, the top 3 are automatically bunched back up again as, these guys are getting close as we're trying to get past the 17. Looks like we might see a way to the inside this time, and we do finally. And that brought in 4th and 5th and 6th, 7th, 8th, however far back you want to go.
Lawrence trying to find a way. Burnett sends it up top. That's obviously the preferred lane at this moment. Lawrence Chung moved up out of the groove. Here comes Mathis Wells for 3rd place. Burnett and Lawrence still side by side at 1 and 2. Wells should be able to take this spot from Chung, unless the 9 can stay up there through 3 and 4, but Mathis Wells is cleared up to 3rd right now. Chung sends it in back on the outside, trying to get the spot back. She gets a great run off forward, gets back at the start-finish line, but Wells is a preferred lane 1 and 2. Hunter Reed's on the apron. I don't know what's happening there in that 45 car.
What are we doing?
I don't know, Trey.
I don't know if that line's going to work out too well.
Look at Laura Chung, though. That was impressive right there. She had that spot basically lost from Mathis Wells, but got it right back with the top of 3 and 4. She's back in 3rd place. Hunter Reed now is trying to find a way by Matthew Burnett because Lawrence is still in traffic, but now there's a car between he and the 45 car. Oh, Lawrence gets into Albert! The 41 sideways. What a save! He lets the 41 back in line, but this allows Hunter Reed through by the 17.
Yo, this is getting dangerous. I don't know if I like it very much.
It's a little bit of chaotic racing here at Bristol. Albert might lose a lap to Nolan Lawrence, and will. He just concedes the spot with 12 laps to go. Hunter Reed's still there, though. And now Matt Tuck and Nathan Ormond are ahead. Remember, the 23 very slow the last few laps. Lawrence trying to find a way by Matt Tuck on the bottom lane. Gets slowed up. We're coming back around to 11 to go. Still lots of time left here at Bristol.
Something's telling me we're not done seeing wrecks or guys getting turned off each other here, because it's too close. It's too bunched up here. You got to be careful passing lap traffic, and at the same time, these leaders are hectic because they're so close together to each other.
Cars are cutting across each other's noses. Matt Tuck and the leader, Nolan Lawrence, might be getting into it right here as Lawrence is trying to get by because the 45 is right there. He can't let Reed stay with him for too much longer because Hunter Reed has had too many chances to, be clean. At some point, he has to get a little bit of aggressive with the number 19. Ormond moves aside, lets the front few by. 9 laps to go in the Food City 500. Lawrence has led the most laps here tonight. Laura Chung, the only other driver to lead laps here tonight. But Hunter Reed is right there trying to pounce with less than 10 laps to go. And Matt Tuck, the lap car, might be in the way for Lawrence. He doesn't get the exit of 4 he wants, and Hunter Reed closes right up with 8 to go.
And again, Joe, you mentioned it earlier in the race. There is no rule that Matt Tuck has to get out of the way and let the leaders race. He can battle all he wants. And, I mean, really, the only thing that's going to cost is, maybe a little bit of respect between the leaders. But, I mean, that's just a heat in a moment thing, right? So we'll have to see how this develops as they are getting so close. Careful of contact coming off the corner, though.
Yeah, at some point, contact is not going to mean much to those front 2 drivers. They need to get going. As Lawrence still holding off Reed for now, but the 45 is right there looking for a pass at 1 and 2. 6 to go. If a caution comes out now, the race would end short. Further back, Atkins has lost some spots. He was running in 5th place. He's lost down to 8th place as Rando, Jericho, and Richardson have gotten around. Reed is there, and Nolan Lawrence looking for the lead. Some contact made with 5 laps to go, but the 19 fends him off for now in 1 and 2.
Could you imagine if he just got spun for the lead? Woo.
That would have...
the tempers would have been going through the roof.
Yeah, that would have been one of the moments of the season for sure. As now 4 laps to go at the line. Lawrence still fending off Reed for now. He's going to send it in deep on Matt Tuck. He's saying, I need to go now. Meanwhile, further back, Matt, as well as the 4th place guy, has just got put high by lap traffic. He could lose some spots in time from that. As Matt Tuck fighting on the top, trying to get back by the 19. Lawrence clears, and now there's a gap between he and Hunter Reed with just 3 laps to go. Reed not going to let him to get too far away, though.
Matt Tuck is getting shoved out of the way lap after lap, and now, Joe, that there's no one in front of the leader is going to be down to who has the faster car. And, Joe, I don't think you can argue against this 19.
Laura Chung got slowed up on the apron. Mathis Wells got the run. We have Colin Teague wrecked on the front stretch. Cars are going everywhere trying to, get through cleanly. We have 2 laps to go. No caution flag yet. Coming to the white flag for Nolan Lawrence and Hunter Reed. 1st and 2nd. Can Reed find a way to him? White flag, last lap at Bristol in the Food City 500. Nolan Lawrence has not had the best of seasons since getting taken out at Dover by Anthony Hernandez. Down the back straightaway for the final time. It's a concrete track that's going to go the way for Nolan Lawrence, his 2nd career victory. Checker flag, it's his at Bristol.
Joe, you can take your jacket off now. You're sweating a little bit. You all right?
That was Trey. That was one of the. And what other? It was like a demolition derby out there. What other race do the leaders have to avoid damaged cars on the apron?
There was so much going on right there.
Yeah, I don't know how can we recap all that? I don't know.
Do we have a highlight reel or something? Is that a thing?
I mean, we had the 22 spun on the apron there in that last one. We had the 49. I mean, we had cars literally everywhere, and somehow the leaders all found a way through. It did slow up some drivers, and some drivers lost spots from it, but my lord, they're lucky they didn't get taken out by some of those cars that were all junked up. And we saw, I think, the 49 driving away all smoky and probably laying down some stuff on the track.
I think we missed camera-wise 3 or 4 spins throughout that last run there. And, I mean, there was so much going on.
Yes, there was. But in the end, Nolan Lawrence finds a way to get Evernham Motorsports. That's their 2nd victory in the Winston Cup Series. Remember, it's Jordan Edwards back in 2001 at Riverside where they won. Well, now Nolan Lawrence gets it here in Bristol, leading the most laps. Definitely a deserved victory for Nolan Lawrence. Hunter Reed, though, he tried his best all the way to the end, finished a 10th back, and if he maybe could have found a way around that 19, I think he would have pulled away. 2nd place for Hunter Reed. 3rd to Mathis Wells. I mean, what a run for him. I think, some of that carnage that happened there in those last few laps with cars, on the apron and guys slowing up. Wells got some spots from that 3rd place for him. Laura Chung, very solid all night long in 4th place. That's 2 cars for Evernham up inside the top 5. And the top 5 for Jay Rando. Very impressive run for Rando here tonight. 6th to Keyshawn Richardson. He was involved in some controversy with Fitzwater, so we'll have to watch for that after the race. Atkins gets some spots back in 7th. Jericho loses some ground at the end in 8th place, with Roberto Crown Jr. putting both the petty cars inside the top 10 in 9th. And Sebastian Kukulon coming from the back to get a top 10 here tonight. How about Jordan Stout? Started mid-pack, gets 11th. A very good run for him. Tim Garrett dropped in the last run. He gets 12th place. Nathan Stipton was solid all night long at 13th. And then 2 more Richard Childers teammates of Evans and Kirchner in 14th and 15th. Colin Lewis, a very solid night. Baby Ruiz, Tyler Belladonna up inside the top 20. Brett Serra, the points leader, 22nd place. That's all he needed, though, because the drivers around him really faltered. Eli Bright minimized the points loss as best he can with a 24th place last car on the lead lap. 25th on down, laps down or out. Nathan Baird from his crash out. Colin Teague out from his crash. Other cars and whatever all filtered throughout the field. There was a lot of carnage and issues that happened here tonight at the Bristol Motor Speedway. Trey, we take a look now at the points leaving Bristol. Cirrus leaves with a bigger points lead than when he entered with, but Eli Bright did his best to minimize any points loss that he would have to that number 25 car.
Yeah, and definitely, and I mean, it's not like the 25 car had the easiest of days. He had to have missed how many accidents? Too many? I was gonna say almost all of them. I mean, it was absolutely crazy. So we'll have to see if the curse continues with the second place guy in points getting involved in some sort of accident here, and it'll be a interesting last couple of races here. I'm not gonna say that the lead's gonna close up, but it's gonna be interesting to see how it develops, is what we should say.
That fight for second could be the most entertaining battle of the season if these guys keep rotating. It's like a revolving door out there.
Yeah, it's I don't know I don't know how to take that. I mean, I always like a good battle for second place, but it's strange to say that, isn't it?
It is, yeah. With how we've been having the last few seasons where it comes down to the wire, it could still happen this season. Brett Serra could have some bad races, but at the moment, Serra has definitely pulled away to a very massive gap and could easily hold on for the rest of the season if he just has top 15 days all throughout the end of the season. But next week could be an interesting one. It did turn the championship a little bit last season where it kind of mixed the points around, and now it's in a different time of the season, and it's going to be a very hot one, Trey. Who decided that we were going to go to the Phoenix International Raceway in the middle of the summer for the Checker Auto Parts 500? That's going to be a hot one out there.
Do they make suits that are short sleeve and shorts? Is that a thing?
All I know is that I'm staying in the air-conditioned booth. I don't care, like, if anything, right? I'm not going outside for anything during that week.
Yeah, I know. That's what I hope to do, but we'll have to see, because normally I always have something I got to go do, Joe, you know.
If there's anything that, someone from my team needs, they can call. Right? There's phones for reasons. We've made phones for reasons. We don't need to go down into that garage. You tell your team, listen, just call me if you need something, and I can tell you over the phone what to do.
We'll have to make sure our assistant up here brings us a little cooler with waters or something in it too.
Yeah, some Gatorade too. I don't know, something like that. But what a race here tonight at Bristol. A lot of carnage all throughout and some chaotic moments there at the end. And Nolan Lawrence was probably biting his lip all the way to the checkered flag. He barely holds on over Hunter Reed. The number 19 team can celebrate for the first time this season. Congratulations to he and Evernham Motorsports. But we'll tune in next week to JRTV for racing from Phoenix in race number 21 of the season.